Hello, and welcome to our Business Law Courseware Deep Dive with our author, Ralph Menhart-Mieland. My name is Paul Cotter, and I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Stukent. We are so thrilled to share this new courseware with you today. If you would like complimentary access, follow the pop-up on the bottom left corner of the screen to the Business Law product page and hit the Request Access button. This is exclusively for instructors and provides you free access to our platform once our team verifies your email address. As we begin, I want to encourage you to use the chat and poll features located on the right side of your screen. Any comments or questions typed in there will be sent to our team, who can follow up with you after the event. We will have several polls pop up throughout the presentation, and we would really love to see your participation. If you miss any important information or resources, you can access this on-demand event on our website. Now I'm happy to introduce you to Ralph Menhart-Mieland, the author of Business Law, A Practical Approach. Ralph holds a Juris Doctor from George Washington University, a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing and International Business from Carthage College, and a degree as a banker in his native country, Germany. Ralph has significant experience developing domestic and international business in the ERP, cloud, agriculture, and healthcare industries. He is a licensed attorney and has worked in global executive and management positions in the United States and in Germany. He is currently an associate professor at Minnesota State University Moorhead, teaching business law, ethics, and personal finance. His teaching philosophy is keep it simple, keep it real, and make it relevant for the students. Welcome, Ralph.
Hi, my name is Ralph Menhart-Mieland, and I would like to introduce to you our new courseware, Business Law, A Practical Approach. My background is I'm a practicing attorney. I've been on the business side of the law for about 30 years, and I've been teaching business law classes for about the same amount of time. So it was a pleasure to actually write this course material. So to give you a high-level overview, what this material is all about, we have 17 chapters plus one appendix. We have many assignments, like 37 assignments. There are auto-grade assignments. There's knowledge checks. We'll talk about those a bit more. Best practice tips. There's a case study that the instructor can have the student do. Basically, it's making them go to court for a couple of hours and write an assignment. We have chapter quizzes for each chapter. We have quiz review decks. We have slide decks for the instructors. We have slide decks for the students. We have a syllabus, obviously, and a course calendar that can be used. And we also have traditional exams and more extended quizzes we actually added on to the materials. The goal of this course really is to take this business law class to make it very practical for the students, to give them the tools they need to really go out in the business world and not be attorneys. I'm very clear with my students that I'm not making them into attorneys, but to have them go out and realize what the main issues are that they may be encountering from a legal perspective, make a decision on whether or not things can be handled internally in their business or whether they should go and actually involve an attorney. So the whole approach, again, is way different. And it's a funny thing, and I should mention it to you. I've taught this class for 30 years. And for 25 years, I have not used a textbook. And the reason I have not used textbooks is because I believe the current textbooks that are out there do not match my philosophy of how this class should be taught. My philosophy, as I mentioned, is hands-on, very practical. A lot of the textbooks that are out there are very, very good, very solid, but in my opinion, focus too much on having students read theoretical stuff, like cases, for example. In my materials, there's only one case that they have to read. Board versus Board of Education, famous Supreme Court case. And the only reason I have them read it is, well, two reasons. Number one, to understand how important that decision was in the first place. And number two, to have read a case. But in our reality, they will never have to read a court case in their careers. They should not. So the idea again is to have a practical approach for the students so they can go out and actually make that informed decision whether can we handle it internally or do we need to go and see an attorney from the outside. And I'm very happy the way it turned out, by the way. But I mentioned is very different from what other courses and course materials have done. From an instructor perspective, we have added a lot of tools for the instructor to, and those are, you can take them or not use them, to really make it usable from using the same approach. So for example, an instructor, when we talk about contracts, we have 3 chapters on contracts in the materials because contracts are so important. In a chapter of contracts, the instructor may decide, you know what, I'm going to have my students actually read 1 or 2 of the annotated contracts that we have provided. So maybe they read a non-disclosure agreement, a couple of pages long, and go through the agreement to understand what it is all about. Why are certain things in there? And maybe also, what should I look out for in those agreements? We have best practice tips. So where the instructor can actually say, listen, we've talked about topic 1, but let's talk about it in a practical environment. Here's a very simple one. I actually have a short best practice tip on what it means to notarize a document. That is something that many students will encounter in their business and professional lives. And we take, a couple of sentences to explain to them, what does it mean to notarize a document? Where do you go to do this? Who is that notary person in the first place? So we have these different aspects and different pieces all throughout. The other thing we have is we have concept checks. So we talk about a certain topic, and at some point in the materials, we actually go to a very specific and practical example of what this means in real life. Again, to reaffirm, hey, you learned about this in theory, and now let's talk about this in practice. My whole approach, my philosophy to these materials is to keep it simple, to keep it real, and to make it relevant for the students. What I've found among my students, especially the current generation, is they just don't want to learn without understanding why. So if we tell them you need to learn this, the question is going to be why. And the idea here in the course materials is we give them that reason. You're learning this, and here's why. Here's how you're going to use it in real life, or may encounter it in real life, and really use these materials and use the information that you have learned. And I do not believe you can learn that from reading a case. You can only learn that from materials that really are hands-on and that talk about, why certain things are done a certain way. I also, by the way, am very careful of letting my students know we are trying to teach in a black and white environment a topic that has multiple millions of shades of gray. So I go out of my way to tell them, listen, here is what topic number 1 is all about, but understand that there is many graduations, but at least you have a general idea of what we're talking about in these materials. When it comes to my favorite parts, is first of all, I think we did a really good job from a practical approach to really make students understand why we do certain things. But I love the assignments. I love the annotated documents. Like I said, there's a couple of them that we provide, and to give the students the idea, hey, this is what a bill of sale is. Here's why you need it. This is what a non-disclosure agreement is. This is what a letter of intent can look like and why you're using it. As part of the contracts chapter, by the way, we talk about negotiation, and we give a little tips and tricks about how to negotiate, including how to negotiate your salary. Again, a best practice kind of approach. The other thing I like is the concept checks, and hand in hand with the best practices. The idea of really tying the theory, this information we're giving, in a very practical environment. So that's the kind of stuff that we try to set out, and I think it worked out really well. The other thing we try to do in the materials is to really make the assignments fit what we're trying to do here. Many assignments are not the quiz and exam type assignments. That they're like, give me your view on X. Go to a court, sit there for 2 or 3 hours, and give us the experience. What did you learn? This is, by the way, one of the most favorite assignments in my class. It's due at the end of the semester, and the students go to court. And many of them have never been and never will be, but they really have an amazing experience to actually sit through a court hearing. Again, very practical, very hands-on, to give them an idea of how the law in the business environment really works. I want to thank you for selecting or considering the courseware. I hope you'll find it interesting. If you have any suggestions or concerns, let us know. We're very open to make changes and improving the materials at any given time. And as I mentioned before, there's a couple of things in here that really make this different, right? Again, the practical approach, the way to get the best practices and to get concept checks to students, to have them look at agreements or documents. And those agreements and documents may not only apply in their business lives, but also in their personal lives. One example is we have added a document, a simple lease agreement for residential lease. And most of our students will have to sign one. Well, we explain to them why certain things are in a lease and maybe what to look out for. So again, this practical approach, and I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you will be able to use the materials for the instructors. Again, very hands-on. They're built for instructors who are not necessarily attorneys or not attorneys in the business environment, and you can actually teach this class and make the students really leave your class with an understanding of, wow, this is, I get the general idea. And when they come across an NDA, non-disclosure agreement in real life, they can make a decision whether or not they can handle it internally or whether they should go to an outside counsel. So thank you again for considering the courseware, and let us know if there's any changes we need to make.
Thank you, Ralph, for providing us with this insider's look at your brand new courseware. If you want access to Business Law, a practical approach, follow the pop-up in the bottom left corner of the screen to the Business Law product page and hit the Request Access button. This is exclusively for instructors and provides free access to our platform once our team verifies your email address. Or, if you prefer to streamline your review of the courseware, on that same page, you can schedule a walkthrough with one of our excellent course consultants at a time that's most convenient for you.